Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Auto Club Speedway for the Sunday night Showdown iRacing Truck Series. This is going to be an exciting race. Last week's winner, Eric Garrison, winning at Daytona, locking himself in the playoffs. He's starting in position number 6 tonight, looking to make it 2 in a row. Will he have enough? I do not know. We will find out, though. Let's go ahead and go down our rundown lineup here real quick. Starting in row number 1, Dylan Carrier with the pole position with a 40.470. He is going to lead the field to green, and to his outside we are going to have Justin Day joining him. Justin Day with a great position and in a great spot to put himself into the playoffs early into the season. And directly behind him in row number 2, Derek Garrison and Bryce Shoemaker. These two drivers last season did very good, looking to continue on into this season with a great run. Row number 3, we have Jason Miz and Eric Garrison. Like I said, Eric Garrison, last week's winner at Daytona. Then in row number 4, Landon Burbage and Reese Hamilton. In row number 5, Jordan Hand, Austin Edstrom. Row number 6, Jacob Zola and Colby Jackson. Directly behind him in row number 7, Stoney Benfield, Reese Schaefer. Reese Schaefer going to have to come a little bit further back from the field here if he wants to keep on defending his series title from last season. Row number 8, Rob Hamp, Jim Froskett. Row number 9, Aaron Kay, Brock Piper. Jordan Berry, Patrick Hernandez are going to make up row number 10. And in row number 11, Joseph Kazi and John Berry. And then rounding out the field, we're going to have Keith Shoemaker and Landon Matherson. We'll take a quick look at our race analysis here. 100 laps tonight, 200 miles. Stage 1 is going to be 50 laps. Our final stage is going to be, again, another 50 laps. Pit road speed, 55 miles an hour. It is a very fast entry to pit road. We're going to have to watch for drivers locking up and potentially getting pit road speeding penalties because of that. 4 sets of tires behind the wall. And then you have the set that you're starting on here. So 5 total. And then our fuel window is about 30 to 35 laps. And again, a lot of that's going to have to do with how well these drivers save their fuel and their tires. But leading into the restart zone, Dylan Carrier, Justin Day, green flag is out, and we're racing at Auto Club Speedway. The field spreading out in the back, but meanwhile, this number 19 truck is going to take the race lead. Justin Day gets shuffled back to 3rd with pressure now from Bryce Shoemaker on his outside. Three wide further back, that's a 2, the 5 and the 9 truck. The 5 in this middle right there, that's Eric Garrison. Drivers spreading out. Oh, aggressive move from the high side there from the 73 of Colby Jackson to get to the outside of Jason Miz there in the 9 truck. There's a lot of lanes to work with here. You'll see drivers go all the way up against the wall. Drivers all the way on that white line. Some may even choose to go below that white line in 3 and 4. Not recommended in 1 and 2 as it does not allow for that. 3 and 4 though, you can really get below that white line and make up some ground and some speed if you're trying to set up a pass. Colby Jackson trying to put pressure, and he'll get around 4th-6th position. Now he's going to go looking after Justin Day. A little bit further back, we got Rob Ham, this 99, trying to hold off Reese Hamilton in the 4 truck. Rob Ham using that very high side to try and gain some corner exit speed. Looks like he'll be able to do just that, as Rob Ham will go up to 10th position and continue to look for 9th. A lot of these drivers up ahead of them have kind of single fouled out for the meantime. Really, the battle is on for about 14th, and so from about 14th to about 19th position. Big group of drivers. Joseph Kazi involved in that. He's in that 3 Oreo bright blue truck there on the bottom screen. 47 of Jim Foskett right there in the middle. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact. And around is going to go the 75 and the 47. Oh, and a late hit there by Keith Shoemaker, I believe that was. Early troubles for the 75 and the 47 machine are going to bring out the caution here at lap 5. Let's go ahead and take a look at this real quick, see what exactly happened. Oh, excuse me while I try and fix this. I'm not quite sure what exactly happened right there. Oh, there we go. All right. So it looks to me like just 3 wide, not really. Yeah, it looks like Jim just maybe anticipated the 75 to be up a little bit closer to that outside wall. Not really the 75's doing. I mean, he's all the way up there already and doesn't want to put himself into the wall off exit. So those 2 trucks make contact. I believe that's a 17 truck of Reese Schaefer that just got that nose damage. But around is both these race trucks. I think Keith Shoemaker comes in here trying to avoid the wreck and just no grip in that grass and slides into the back of the 75 truck and receives a decent amount of damage. I don't think it's anything to be concerned about if you're hoping for a Keith Shoemaker victory here, but he definitely will have some heavily right side damage, at least for the time being. So 6 laps into this race. I don't really think a lot of these drivers would want to come down and get any tires this early on into the race. You might see drivers a little bit further back come in to top off so that they can make it a little bit further than the guys in front of them. I do not see any advantage to taking tires right now, though. So if you're a crew chief up on your pit box and you're trying to decide on what your strategy call is, I do not think we would see any drivers taking any sort of tire sets here. A little bit further into this race, you might see guys take 4. You might see guys take 2. We're going to have to see how this thing plays out. I know from what it sounded like, there's a pretty significant amount of fall off, just over 2 seconds at the end of a run. So that's going to be something that we're going to have to watch out for when we get into these green flag runs. While we're here, though, let's go ahead and take a look at the weather here. 85 degrees out. 6 miles an hour wind to the southwest, partly cloudy with a 94 track temp and no humidity. And as an early pick, I'm going to make my early pick here is going to be Derek Garrison. I think he's going to be able to stay up front for a majority of the race and be a potential factor for this race win. He's been very good here in seasons past and looking forward a potential early season win, although I do not count out some of these guys behind him. There are very good drivers, some that are deeper in the field than what I would expect, but 100 laps, plenty of time for drivers to make their way through the field. Just do not want to get into any early incidents. Pace truck going to take the hard left turn off of the racetrack and onto pit road, and we're going to get back green flag racing in just a second. And into the restart zone we go. We're off in racing here once again at Auto Club Speedway. Drivers once again fanning out. This is the best time to make a move if you're trying to gain positions while you're bunched up close together. And you're gonna see a lot of drivers be probably a little bit more aggressive on these restarts. That's Justin Day and Wall just a bit there off exit. That's gonna be one spot that we're also gonna have to watch out for. Turn 4 can be very tricky, especially when you get behind somebody. These trucks are so aero sensitive that if you're directly behind someone trying to come off that corner and you put too much throttle down, you have a potential to hit that outside wall. And that's when we kind of see drivers, if they're side by side, bounce off of it and collect other drivers. That usually is the biggest, I'd say, factor as to wrecks here as we're riding on board. The 48 of Jordan Hand trying to make his moves early on. He's going to get around Justin Day. Now Justin Day getting pressure from the 87 onto Austin Edstrom. Joseph Kazi right there as well, looking to make his way up through the pack. Justin Day continuing to fall back just little by little. No worries, though, if you're a Justin Day fan, it is still very early. Looks like he may be struggling with a little bit of handling on that truck. You see him wiggle coming off of turn number 4 right there. Now he's going to get pressure from Jason Miz right behind him in that 9 truck. The 9 truck going to have the advantage though off this high side as he uses a lane above that 24 truck to try and gain some momentum going into 3 and 4. And now if you're using this higher lane, you might want to be a little careful. We have not seen what this will do to your tires. No, some drivers were trying different lanes in practice, and practice to race can be very different race conditions. Oh, a little bit of contact right there. That's Justin Day. A great save, and that's going to actually bring out a caution. And Jim Foskett around as well again. A hard start for Jim Foskett. Let's go look and see what exactly transpired this incident. Oh. Wrong incident, sorry. Alright, so right on board with Justin Day here. Looks like it may have been a misjudged corner entry from that 37 of Aaron Kay. I don't think Aaron Kay intended to do that, and you see the 47 of Jim Foskett there with a little bit of a late checkup from that driver behind him. I think that's the 15 truck, but just, I think Justin Day may have slowed up a bit to try and save some tires, trying to settle into the rhythm, and Aaron Kay just was not anticipating that and got into the back of him. 47 of Jim Foskett there with contact from the 15 truck directly behind him, sends him spinning around. Although it does not look like Jim has much damage again, so if you're a 47 fan, hang in there. It's definitely been a rough start for you, but there's still enough time in this race to be able to make something out of tonight. So an interesting time for a caution to happen. Definitely some drivers who came down pit road. We got to change up positions up at the front. Colby Jackson is now our race leader. Colby Jackson stayed out with Rob Hamp. And I believe Joseph Kazi stayed out as well. So some drivers electing to stay out here, others electing to come down pit road, take 4 tires, maybe even 2, depending on what your strategy is. We talked about it earlier. Drivers may want to play some strategy cars early on into this race, and we see the top 4 drivers as of right now playing their strategy card, willing to stay out here at lap 15. We'll see how it plays out for them. I'm sure we'll at least see these guys struggle here in about 4 to 5 laps into this run with the guys behind them on newer tires. There's just going to be a significant speed advantage from those guys who came down pit road. Now, the positive in this is if you didn't come down pit road there, and if we get another caution here in about 10 laps, then you can pretty much flip this and make it pretty close to the end of this stage, this first stage. Now, I'm not sure if that'll happen. I'm sure if you're one of those drivers that stayed out, you're wanting that to more than likely be the case. And if you're a driver who came down pit road here, you're gonna want these next few laps to go green until the end of the first stage, so that these drivers who did stay out will have to come down pit road at least under green. And this is gonna be interesting little set of circumstances for these drivers. We'll see if this thing goes green and how this plays out. Pace truck gonna take the hard left turn on the pit road. Once again, Colby Jackson, Joseph Kazi gonna lead the field to green. Green flag back in the air. Colby Jackson with a great restart. Our truck, 2 truck lengths advantage over the field heading into turns 1 and 2. Three wide coming off of turn number 2. That's the 19, the 8, and the 37. The 19 truck gonna get the advantage out of that third wide situation, and he'll be clear of the other 2. Field mostly spread out here for the time being. Up at the front though, new race leader Joseph Kazi, he's going to get around Colby Jackson. Now Colby Jackson getting pressure from Rob Hamp on the outside, as Rob Hamp's going to go try and steal second place away and put pressure on Joseph Kazi for the race lead. Rob Hamp's going to send it in deep there. He's going to get the upper advantage on Colby Jackson off of 2. Now he's going to set sail, trying to get around this 3 truck and at least lead a lap, if not lead the field around this track. But here comes that 19 truck. He's on fresh tires, and he's going to slide up in front of Colby Jackson right there off of turn number 4. Almost didn't make that stick, but he sure did pull it off. And that's kind of what you have to be. You got to be aggressive if you want to be able to make positions up. He did just that. He had it clear, and he took that without hesitation. Rob Hamp now getting pressure for this second position. He's going to hold strong on the outside though. Colby Jackson back to 4th position. Aaron Kay back in 5th, just a little bit behind these top 4 drivers. A little bit further back, we have 3 wide here with Jordan Hands, Jacob Zala, and Reese Hamilton. Eight machine of Landon Matherson having a little bit of connectivity issues right there. Jordan Hand now trying to get around Jacob Zala, but he's getting a push from Eric Garrison. Diving down to the inside. Jordan Hand should be able to clear Jacob Zala off of you here. And yes, he will. Now Jordan Hand is going to put Jacob Zala in the rear view mirror and look to go on to Landon Burbage. I'm so sorry. I just botched that name. Burbage. Excuse me. Joseph Kazi, for the time being, had pressure from the 19 truck. Now he's kind of put a little bit of distance between the 19 and the 73. 73 and the 19 working each other to figure out who is going to take second place. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there from Colby Jackson. You can see how bumpy this back straightaway is. These trucks going on that back straightaway can be very hard on a driver. Colby Jackson now gonna pull back over to the inside. Rob Hamp giving that 19 truck just a bit of a shove down this front straightaway. Rob Hamp now going to look to the inside of Dylan Carrier. And this 19 truck is boxed in from the 4 and the 73. That's the 4 truck of Reese Hamilton looking to get to the outside of Colby Jackson. And yes, he will do just that off of turn number 2. To move Reese Hamilton to second position, Colby Jackson back to third. And Dylan Carrier trying to figure out what he has to do to get around this 73 truck in front of him. And Reese Hamilton is here, and he's going to go for the race lead into turns 3 and 4. Sends it in low. He should be able to clear up, and yes, he will. He's going to slide across the front bumper of Joseph Kazi, and now he's going to take the race lead away. Oh, and back behind him, that's Dylan Carrier around into the outside wall. So around goes the 19, trying to battle for 3rd and 4th position. May have been slight contact from Rob Hamp or Aaron Kay. Let's take a look and see what happened with him here. So racing the 73 coming out for turn number 4. Oh, looks like he got tight, and that's kind of what we were talking about. And then a little bit of help from Rob Hamp. So exactly like we talked about earlier in the race, this turn 4 is very tricky for drivers to navigate, especially when you're behind another truck. It really messes with the aerodynamics of your truck if you're behind somebody, and it looks like he might have just gotten super tight, tried to stay off the wall, just barely hit it, and unfortunately Rob Hamp came in and clipped the 19 truck, which then sent the 19 around. The 19 truck, though, it looks really, I think he'll just need to at least take some tires. Very minimal damage here on this front end. So getting this damage fixed, as well as those tires on his race truck, after a scary situation off of turn number 4. Every driver behind him did a great job at avoiding him sitting in the track. Also, the 19 doing a great job at actually holding the brakes there. Plenty of times we see drivers maybe not exactly hold the brakes and come sliding down the track, which then causes more chaos. But a great job by this 19 truck to be at least aware of his surroundings and be mindful of other drivers. So we were talking about last caution, about what drivers may do if we see another caution here. And it's been a little bit more than 10 laps after, or since our most recent caution. And I think some of these drivers decided to come down, take tires and fuel. Others may have flipped the stage here, or at least the drivers who did pit last caution may have stayed out here. So we're going to see another interesting restart of drivers on mixed strategies. Drivers may be on older tires, drivers on newer. Some may even be on 2. This is going to be a chaotic restart coming to lap 30. And after Reese Hamilton took the race lead away from Joseph Kazi obviously did pit here after staying out that last caution. So there will be at least a little bit of breathing room from those guys who did not pit under the last caution and who did pit under this caution. So we'll see what Reese Hamilton and Jordan Berry on this front row can do. Pace truck off. And we're going to get ready to go green flag racing once again. Jordan Berry off and away. Green flag back in the air. Side by side into turn 1. Jordan Berry not with the inside more advantage lane, is going to get swallowed back just a bit. Colby Jackson with a wiggle right there on that inside lane. But Reese Hamilton is going to take the race lead. And he'll have to hold off a hard charging Rob Ham as Colby Jackson gets on that back bumper of that 54 machine to maybe give him a little bit of an aero push up the track. But he's going to have to face some pressure from Derek Garrison directly behind him. Joseph Kazi right there in picture as well. He's going to make it 3 wide in the middle right there. Maybe even do it again coming off of turns number 2. He's going to clear Jordan Berry, so he'll have at least that high line in front of him to work with to get around Derek Garrison on his inside. And up front, we have a lead change. Reese Hamilton back to 3rd. Rob Hamp up to 2nd. And Landon Burbage takes the race lead. And he's going to set sail and try and pull away from this hungry pack behind him. But Rob Hamp does not let him get too far away. And now Rob Ham is going to be pushing the 2 down this front straightaway. We'll see if he decides to make a move heading into turns 1 and 2, or maybe he just wants to wait behind him for the time being. And Jordan Berry falling back to 17th position, now getting pressure from Bryce Shoemaker and the 88 of Keith Shoemaker. Definitely not the restart that he was expecting, as he's lost quite a bit of position on these other drivers. But we do have at least a competition caution for the stage finish here at lap 50. So as long as he can stay within reasonable position, he should be fine. But those Shoemakers are going to work together to get to the inside of Jordan Berry, and Jordan Berry is going to lose another 2 positions here and fall back to 19th position. And Colby Jackson riding this high side. I think he's going to be a threat to win this race as long as he's able to continue doing what he's been doing. He's been up in the top 5 all night so far. He's going to dive it down below Rob Hamp into 3 and 4, not be able to hang on to it. And he's going to fall back in line behind Rob Hamp. Almost hits the wall right there. But Colby Jackson has shown very good speed and a lot of aggression so far tonight in that bright blue and yellow 73 Wrangler Chevy. Reese Hamilton continuing to at least hold on to a decent position. Back into 5th place, now getting a little bit of pressure from last week's winner, Eric Garrison, behind him. But after staying out after our caution a few moments ago, he's doing what he needs to do for the time being. And if you're Reese Hamilton, you showed that you're able to get up there. And really, all you got to do is just hang on to what you're doing. Don't race yourself too hard. Like I said, we got a end of stage at lap 50, so drivers will get to regroup after that caution that we'll see here in a bit. But what you really don't want to do is put yourself into a bad position now and then be in a hole for the rest of the race. So great job by Reese Hamilton so far, doing what he needs to do. Colby Jackson, though, continuing to be aggressive, using that high side, trying to get around Rob Hamp. Rob Hamp, though, doing absolutely everything that he needs to do to hold on to this 2nd place for the time being. And I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen Rob Hamp actually take a look for the race lead quite yet. He might be trying to... Oh, and contact around goes Rob Hamp. And will he save it? No, he won't. A little bit of contact there from Eric Garrison. So Rob Hamp, we were just talking about him, and I feel kind of bad. Colby Jackson going for it. I'm not sure if there was netcode contact or just full-on contact. We'll take a look in just a minute. But either way, that sends Rob Hamp around. Almost had it saved, just not enough room for other drivers to get around a spinning and sliding Rob Hamp. And it looks like he has some pretty significant left side damage. So he'll definitely want to come down pit road and get that fixed. So Rob Ham has been deciding to stay behind this 2 machine for a while. In 73 of Colby Jackson finally decided, oh, it's go time. Oh, and it looked like Colby Jackson was trying to use that inside lane and just kind of dipped below it, hit a weird part of that transition in that track and washed up into Rob Hamp. Take a look at it again right here. So Colby Jackson beneath him, trying to use all the racetrack, just hit that transition weird, washed up, trying to keep it off of Rob Hamp, just not enough room. Rob Hamp around with contact from Eric Garrison there at the very end. And unfortunately for Rob Hamp, not really anything of his doing, and gets sent around coming off of turn number 4. So Rob Hamp getting that damage fixed on the pit road. We'll see if he took his fast repair. We get one fast repair here. I don't think a lot of drivers really want to use it unless they have to. I'd be surprised if he did. It doesn't look like he did, so Rob Hamp should be fine here. Now we're gonna have the green flag with less than 10 to go in the first stage. I think we're gonna see a little bit of aggression picking up from some of these drivers trying to get stage points. Stage points are awarded to the top 10 drivers. And it just so happens to be that Dylan Carrier, back here in 10th position, is holding the last spot to give points to after that early incident. He's been able to work his way back up through the field and is now in at least semi-decent position to at least try and get some stage points. We'll see if he has anything to say about these next few laps. Alright, so Pace Truck's gonna get ready to take the hard left turn off of this racetrack once again. Landon Burbage is gonna lead the field to green with Colby Jackson to his inside. Leaders getting ready to hit the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. Landon Burbage with a great restart over Colby Jackson in the rest of the field. He'll have at least one truck length lead over that second place machine of Colby Jackson. Joseph Kazi, maybe a little bit of contact there on that 73's bumper, but he's going to apply pressure to the second place of Colby Jackson as drivers trying to figure it out for about 6 onwards. 6th to 7th to 8th position. We got a whole mess here. That's the 48, the 74, the 19, the 24, and I believe the 9 truck there as well. That 48 right in front being put 3 wide in the middle, heading into turns 1 and 2. Not able to clear any of those drivers. Maybe just barely slides up in front of the 9 truck, and then around goes the 9 truck. And that's Jason Miz back here. And a lot of these drivers did a great job to avoid the spinning 9 truck coming off of turn number 2. I think he was the only truck actually with any sort of contact. And like I said, our aggression level from these drivers was probably going to pick up, and it did in fact do just that. Those drivers fighting hard for that about 10th area position. We'll see what happened here to this 9 truck. So 3 wide here. That 48 slid up in front of the 9 truck coming off of 2. We'll see if it caused any checkup. Looks to me like just close, hard racing. The 19. I'm not sure if they actually did. I'm not sure if the 9 truck did check up and the 19 thought he'd have a hole behind him. We'll take a look once again here. So the 48 definitely slides up, maybe causes the checkup in front of the 9 truck. The 19 just trying to get behind the 9 truck and fall in line. Maybe made contact right there, which then sent both these drivers around. 19 able to hang on to it and keep it off the wall. Almost actually hit that inside wall. Great job at keeping it off that inside wall though, and reducing any damage that may have occurred from that spin. Now we're going to have just a few laps to go in this stage. And if you're a driver maybe a little bit further back, do you risk it and pit here and give up those valuable stage points? Or do you stay out and try and gain something from the top 10 positions that would pay off, or that would pay playoff points, or I guess regular points and 1 playoff point to the race leader? So do you risk it by staying out, or do you set yourself up for the second half of this race? And I think, personally, if I'm anywhere from probably 8th on back, I might want to come down pit road here, take tires, and then set myself up for the last 50 laps in this race. If you're ahead of 8th position, I'd say you're probably more than likely going to want to stay out here and not give up those valuable points that you would get from finishing in the top 10. Drivers picking their lanes, that is one thing that this league does allow you to do. You're able to choose your lane when coming back with 1 to go with a caution, period, and that really allows you to kind of decide your own fate on the restart. We've seen drivers pick either the wrong or the right lane, and it either gains you many positions or it really hurts you. So it's kind of up to what you're willing to do as a driver and what position you want to be in. Drivers getting ready to have just a few lap shootout in the remainder of this first stage. Into the restart zone. Landon Burbage going to lead him off and away, heading into turns number 1 and 2. He gets another great restart over the 73 of Colby Jackson. Colby Jackson now getting help from Joseph Kazi behind him. And that Ford truck of Reese Hamilton left out to dry and defend for himself in 1 and 2. Fanning out behind him once again. Eric Garrison looking to the inside of that 74 of John Barry. An aggressive move by Colby Jackson at the front to get to the ends, to the outside. Landon Burbage holding his own. They're going to be in a dead even drag race down the back straightaway. The 73 getting a little bit of help there from Reese Schaefer, but Landon Burbage holding his own. Not sure if it'll be enough to hold these two hard-charging drivers off behind him. Be 3 wide coming off for turn number 4. And a mess behind them. They're 3 wide once again. Reese Schaefer has a great race in his rear view mirror. The Ford truck of Reese Hamilton now trying to get around this 2 truck as well. But Landon gonna hold off strong on this high side. Does not want to lose. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact there going into turns 1 and 2. But that's not gonna stop him. And this is the last lap in the stage. So all these drivers are gonna do their absolute best to hold off for these valuable points. And we'll see what drivers do what coming into the race. The race start and finish line here. Side by side at the ends. And I think Bryce Shoemaker might be the last truck to get playoff, or I keep saying playoff points, but at least points right there. We'll go take a look and see if we can be for sure on that. So at the line, I'm not sure honestly who would it be. Let's see. I think it's actually Jacob Zala. I could be wrong. That is a close finish to the stage. I'm trying to get a good camera angle on this. I'm not sure if we actually have one for this. Let's see if we can maybe pinpoint it. And I think that 87 just barely missed out on Jacob Zala and Bryce Shoemaker to get that 10th and final points playing position. So that would mean that Jacob Zala, Bryce Shoemaker, Jordan Hand, Derek Garrison, Joseph Kazi, Landon Burbage, Reese Hamilton, Colby Jackson, Rob Hamp, and Reese Schaefer would be your top 10 points paying positions. Reese Schaefer getting that extra playoff point as well for being the leader at the end of that lap. Drivers now gonna make their way down pit road. Other drivers choosing not to. Reese Schaefer going to be the second one from Joseph Kazi, who is also actually Joseph Kazi hit his box first. I was gonna say Reese Schaefer was, but it was actually technically Joseph Kazi. Now you see that I think that was 2 tires right there from Reese Schaefer. Might have been wrong, but other drivers making their green flag round, or their green flag round. I mean, pit stops here under this caution flag. And we will once again reset and reshake up the field here. at the end of this stage. And that'll leave us with just under 50 laps to go in this race. The two drivers electing to stay out right there, being Rob Hamp and Austin Edstrom, will be the ones to lead us to the green flag when we get back under green flag racing conditions. So those two drivers will have a hungry group of drivers behind them on fresher tires. And I think I can confirm that Reese Schaefer, I believe, new tires. It is very hard for me to be able to tell if that was actually true or not. Either way, though, he's going to be restarting in that third position in that 17 truck in row number 2. With Bryce Shoemaker in that 54 Red Bull truck to his outside. Pace truck getting ready to come off once again. Drivers will be racing here momentarily. At the front, Rob Hamp is going to lead the field into the restart zone and green flag. And we're back underway. A little bit of tire spin from that front row looks like. That's going to allow the 54 Bryce Shoemaker to be right on Rob's bumper as the 73 of Colby Jackson, once again, not being afraid to be aggressive. He's going to send it into the middle, 3 wide heading into turns 1 and 2, and he's going to be clear for at least that 17 truck in that Ford truck, and he's going to try and set his sights on this third position. Around the outside, Colby Jackson using all the racetrack that he can. It's not going to be enough to get around Rob Hamp, though. Bryce Shoemaker now to the race lead. He's going to lead at the line. And we're 3 wide a little further back. That's Joseph Kazi, Jordan Berry, and I believe that's Reese Hamilton again. And here comes the 48 machine of Jordan Hands now saying he wants into this as well. And they're going to continue to be 3, maybe even 4 wide. They tried, I think, off of turn number 4 right there. Four wide right here for a moment. Jordan Berry continuing to be put in the middle of these 3 wide moves. Holding on, or at least trying to hold on to this 11th position. And a little bit of a mess back here. A little bit of separation from this other group in front of them. The 9 truck's going to send it in deep. Try and slide up in front of the 10 machine of Jordan Berry. Not going to make it work. Back up front though, the 73 and the 19 going hard at it for the race lead. Both these drivers able to get around Bryce Shoemaker, who led a few laps right there. And now Derek Garrison moving into third position. I said he was going to be my pick at the beginning of the night. And right now, he's looking like a great pick. Now I hope I don't jinx it, but for the time being, he is setting sail and trying to set his sights onto this race lead as we got a spin back behind him. I think that's a 75. Yes, it is. That's a 75 of Stony Benfield. He went for a very long slide coming off of turn 1 and 2. I think he was able to keep it off that inside wall, it looked like. So another great save from a driver to keep it from hitting that inside wall. So how busy will pit road get here? That is the question. We'll see if those two drivers of Rob Hamp and Austin Edstrom, decide to come down pit road here this time. Again, they stayed out after that caution, that stage caution that we just had a few moments ago. I would be surprised if anybody else came down pit road. You might see some guys a little bit further back come down as well, but I'd expect the 99 and the 87 to come down pit road at least. And it looks like, yes, those two drivers will. Reese Schaefer a little bit further back is also going to come down pit road. He's going to be followed by the 10 and that 9 truck as well. So Rob Hamp making his pit stop here after staying out after that last caution, joined as well by a few other drivers who will also elect to come down and get some pit service. Now, although Colby Jackson was able to get the race lead for a moment, this 19 truck took that away from Colby Jackson very quickly. Colby Jackson has been very aggressive in trying to get this race lead from whoever it has been tonight, and he's probably going to try and do it again. We'll have to see how aggressive he's willing to be this time, though. We are going to be just under 40 laps when we take this green flag. And we should, most of these drivers will have to pit at least one more time. Some of these drivers, I don't think we'll see any two-tire strategies, but we will at least need to pit at least once more. And if we keep it under green flag conditions, when do you make the call to come down pit road? Do you decide to just split the last 40-ish laps of this race and try and do around the 15 to 18 lap marker? Or do you run it out as long as you can and then come down pit road, hoping for maybe a potential caution? We've already seen a handful of cautions tonight. We'll go over that race recap real quick. We're seven, sorry. We're 7, I'm blanking out on this. I'm so sorry. or 7 cautions for 19 laps. Sorry, I don't know why I just had a brain fart there. We've seen 12 lead changes so far, and I don't know if we'll actually see another caution or not. We've already seen these restarts can get pretty wild, so I would not be too surprised if we do see another one. I know a few drivers out there aren't really wanting to see another one and kind of want to see what this thing can do under green flag conditions, but we'll have to wait and see who's willing to risk it and who's not. Dylan Carrier and Colby Jackson up front, ready to get the field back under green flag racing, and we're off and away once again from Auto Club Speedway. A great restart by some of these drivers. Derek Garrison now applying pressure to the 19 truck, who has fallen to second place. Colby Jackson able to take the race lead once again, continuing to be aggressive on these restarts. We'll see if he's able to hold off though, and for how long, as he has a hungry group of drivers behind him. Landon Burbage coming for this 4th position. Not able to get around Joseph Kazi though. Joseph Kazi going to hold on to that 4th position for the time being. Now this 19 truck getting to the outside of the 73 off of turns number 1 and 2. Able to get that advantage going down the back straightaway. Will he be able to hold off though heading into turns 3 and 4? Looks like he will, and that 73 car is going to fall back to 3rd, maybe even 4th position. And we've seen this happen a few restarts where the 73 is able to get the race lead, but not able to hang on to it for more than a handful of laps. And once these drivers get settled in, that 19 truck has kind of been the truck to beat so far. Three wide, a little further back. That's Justin Day in the middle, in between that 54 and that 74 truck. Oh, and a little bit of contact, and around goes the 54 machine. And we're going to get another caution here at lap 67. Heavy rear end damage to this 54 truck. He had a great run going, running inside the top 10. And three wide not working out for some of these drivers. And that unfortunately sent Bryce Shoemaker around. Let's take a look and see how this happened. The 54 right there on the top. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact there from Justin Day, trying to clear up in front of him. But that's unfortunately going to send the 54 around, as well as the 24 of Justin Day. Take another look right here. I think the 24 may have thought he was clear and just a little bit of contact got into that 54. 54 almost up and over right there. Great job by this truck to keep on its wheels and not go up and over. But almost a scary moment once there again as he came down off the track through traffic. Great job by these other drivers to avoid that 54 who was coming down at a fast rate of speed. The 54 machine of Bryce Shoemaker. He's definitely going to want to get that damage fixed. And an unfortunate night for Bryce Shoemaker right there. Not really any of his doing right there. Just close racing. And that kind of set up a bad spot for him to be in. Again, you're getting down to the end of this race, so not really any reason a driver should lift for that. But it unfortunately got multiple drivers involved. Bryce Shoemaker, again, getting the worst damage out of that. So some trucks deciding to pit there, others not. The 1, the 2, the 48, those are some drivers that took tires right there from coming down pit road. Back up front, Dylan Carrier, Joseph Kazi, they're going to lead the way. We're Green Flag Racing once again. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there from that 73 truck. He hit that apron just a tad. Again, we saw it already happen once tonight, and a little bit of wiggleness going on back behind him from that 25 of Jacob Zolla. Meanwhile, the battle is on for this 4th position. Colby Jackson being aggressive on a restart once again, applying pressure to this 19 truck for 2nd place. Joseph Kazi out front for the time being has put a gap of about 1 truck length over this field. And back behind him, it has turned into a mess of 2 to 3 wide racing, trying to decide on who's going to be 2nd place. Jacob Zoll in the middle of 3 wide racing there. Oh, and around goes Jacob Zolla. And as quick as that happened, There is actually minimal contact for Jacob Zoller right there. Let's go ahead and take a look at this and see how exactly this happened. But we were pretty much watching it, and it looked to be like just three wide racing, not really enough room for any of these drivers. The 4 of Reese Hamilton to his outside, 87 of Austin Edstrom. Looks like the 87 may have came up just a bit and squeezed that 25 into that 4 truck, and just around goes the 25 truck off of that front end of that 4 truck of Reese Hamilton. I don't actually know if those guys made contact or not, and those guys being the 4 and the 87. Take another quick look at this. I mean, it was close. I don't think they made contact, though. The 4 and the 25 definitely did, but I don't think the 87 and the 25 actually made contact. If it was, then it was probably net code. But either way, the 25 going around, you saw his rear end come up off the track, and that truck actually stayed planted. So another great example of the safety features on this truck, able to keep it on the ground instead of going up and over. So Jacob Zoller currently on pit road, probably looking at any damage that he may have gotten. That was a pretty hard land, so I'm not sure if he'd have any suspension damage under that truck, or if maybe he just has a little bit of left side damage, right side damage. Maybe. I didn't really see any, but at least would probably want to come down and take some tires if he has any left. We are winding down to the end of this race. The aggression level has definitely picked up. A fair bit of cautions within the last 20 laps. But no worries from any of these drivers, as they are willing to go do and take whatever it is they may want to do for this race win. Dylan Carrier, Reese Hamilton, they're going to lead this field once again to the green flag. Row number 2 is going to consist of Patrick Hernandez and Derek Garrison. Green flag back in the air. 19 truck with a great restart. Three wide, further back in the pack. Reese Schaefer, the 48 of Jordan Hand, those two drivers in the middle of that 3 wide racing, now figuring it out and gonna go back to 2 wide. Now that's gonna put Aaron K actually in the middle, and Reese Schaefer looking to make a move on Rob Ham. And a few trucks in the wall. This 73 of Colby Jackson, he's gonna go around, and we're gonna get another caution here with 25 laps to go. Colby Jackson has been the most aggressive driver on these restarts tonight, and unfortunately it does not work out for him this time as he goes around. And another great job from the field to avoid a spinning truck. So running on this high side on the top at 3 wide, was there contact? Looks like there was a little bit of contact from that 2 truck. I believe that was Lennon Burbage. So a little bit of contact from that 2 truck off of turn number 4 sends this 73 around. Take another look at it once again. I mean, it's just tight racing coming off of turn 4. And several trucks in front of the 73 did look like they hit the wall, or at least potentially hit the wall. So there might have been a check-up from some of the drivers in front of him, including the 73, which then may have resulted in that contact from that 2 machine to send the 73 around off of 4. Now, that 73 has pretty good speed, and I don't think he will be finishing in this current 21st position. We'll just have to see if it's enough time for him to get back up front and challenge for the race win, or if maybe there's not enough time for him to make his way back up through the field. However, this 73 truck will be one to watch when we get the green flag. Now, a lot of these cautions have definitely helped the drivers who have maybe pitted at certain times. Some of these drivers may be able to save and make it to the end here. I know we have a lot of different strategies happening in this field, especially within this top 10 area. Now, if you're a driver short on fuel who is trying to save, how much do you save here? And if you do get the chance to save, there's not really a whole lot to save around here. I mean, you can save some fuel when racing around here if you're a little bit further in the pack. But at the same time, a lot of these drivers are going to be super hungry on this restart. So you don't really want to put yourself in a position to where you could potentially get wrecked. We've seen a lot of these drivers have issues off of turn number 4. Haven't really seen any issues off of turn 2 yet. We saw at least 2 slides coming off of there, but for the most part, a lot of these wrecks have happened off of turn 4. So it's really gonna be interesting to see what these drivers do and who does what and when. And I just realized we never actually went live. Apologies there. Green flag is back in the air. Apologies. I missed the live button. Back up front. Dylan Carrier with the jump. Reese Hamilton holding on to second place. We're going to have 21 laps to go at the line. Reese Schaefer, Joseph Kazi back here off of turn 2. Reese Schaefer with a little bit of internet issues, but he's back in the picture now. That's Jordan Berry right there in that 10 bright orange and yellow machine, trying to hold off the 87. And apologies again, I missed the live button. I was wondering why that caution was taking a bit longer than what I was expecting. But back up here, live, Joseph Kazi holding on to this 8th position with pressure from Jacob Zala and Lennon Matherson. Now Reese Schaefer in the middle, Jordan Berry getting that high side advantage over Joseph Kazi. Back up front, Justin Day now applying pressure for this race lead. He's down to the inside, trying to get away from any side drafting down this front straightaway. Justin Day trying to clear off for turns 2. Will he be able to do it? Yes, he will. He's going to try and pull Eric Garrison along as well behind him. Further back, we got a buttload of a mess trying to race for position. These drivers knowing that there's just under 20 laps to go in this race. Drivers fanning out now as the 19 truck tries to get back around Justin Day for the race lead. Oh, and Eric Garrison is going to go around here off of turn 2. And a hard hit into that inside wall. Eric Garrison, last week's winner at Daytona, with late issues here at Auto Club Speedway. Looks like he has some damage, was running pretty well, and had a shot at the win. So racing the 4 truck of Reese Hamilton. Oh, he might have broke loose right there. Sliding into that inside wall with a hard hit. We'll take a look and from another angle and see if there was actually any contact from anybody that sent him around. Joseph Kazi right there in that bottom lane in that 3 truck. See if he maybe... Oh, it looks like that 48 truck of Jordan Hand may have just hardly, and I mean just barely gotten into the back of Eric Garrison. It was, I mean, that's really close if he did hit him. We'll see if we can find a good angle here. Let me actually, let's see if we can get a better camera angle for this. Oh, wrong camera angle. Alright, let's see. So, the 48, Jordan Hand, Eric Garrison right in front of him. Let's see if there's actually any contact. Oh, that's really close if there was contact. Either way, though, Eric Garrison, hard hit into that inside wall. Currently sitting on pit road, trying to get as much damage fixed as he can. Back up front, though, Justin Day is going to lead the way. And some drivers electing to come down pit road here. Again, we talked about drivers may be able to make it from a few cautions ago. Those drivers who were not able to make it, or at least thinking they wouldn't be able to make it, coming down pit road this time. That being drivers of the 19, the 3 truck, the 17, the 10, the 25, the 73, the 2 truck, the 9, and a few others behind them. But those drivers being majority of the drivers those drivers that I just listed being the majority of those who came down pit road. So setting them further back into the field again. Those drivers are going to have some work cut out for them here when we get this green flag back underway. With coming to 14 laps to go, this is going to be a very exciting finish. A short run to the finish. It will be, drivers will be giving it their all. And will we see another caution? That will be determined right here, right now. Getting ready for the restart. Let's get him going. Justin Day gonna lead the way. Green flag back in the air. A great restart by Justin Day, but here comes the 8 truck of Landon Matherson till he's inside with the 87 truck directly in tow. Side by side going into turns 3 and 4. That 8 truck gonna get a little tight and wash up, not able to carry momentum, hits the wall. He's gonna try that 87 truck in directly behind him. Drivers trying to avoid that. That's going to put a big scramble for that 3rd position for the time being. That 48 truck, though, able to get around that 8 and 87, so he's going to be sitting in pretty decent position if this thing goes green. Oh, and we got a wreck in one up and over. That's Derek Garrison up and over. Multiple trucks involved. And a big wreck here with under 13 laps to go. Heavy damage to that front end truck of Derek Garrison. And I think he may not have enough power to get back around. So Derek Garrison needing to tow. I can't quite tell who that is with their, I think that's a 9 truck. No, it's not actually. I'm not quite sure who has... Oh, that's a 74 truck of John Barry trying to make it back around the pit road with that hood flapping in his face. On board with John Barry trying to make his way back around pit road. This has got to be a hard thing to do when you have a hood flapping in front of your windshield, blocking your view. And if you're the 74, you're really just listening to your spotter and praying that he's able to get you back around the pit road without any incidents. Let's go and see what happened here and what really started this wreck. So 3-4 wide for a moment. Looks like the 73 and the 1 made contact. Up and over went the 1 truck of Derek Garrison, which then collected other trucks, including the 4, the 3, the 37, the 9. And you hear some trucks blowing engines from what I would assume be hitting that inside wall pretty hard. So really a lot of good trucks taken out here at the very end. This is going to be an interesting view. Let's see if maybe we have a good view for this. Alright, so we're going to ride on board with Derek Garrison here. And hang on, folks, this is going to be a wild ride. And just like that, in a blink of an eye, your race can go from a really good race to a really bad race. And unfortunately for Derek Garrison, who was my pick, and I may have jinxed it picking him, he goes up and over and will not make it back around the pit road, with other drivers also involved in this wreck, including Colby Jackson, who was the other factor in kind of starting this thing. And like I said, this 73 of Colby Jackson, very aggressive, and you saw it right there. He was willing to make it 4 wide with the rest of those drivers, and unfortunately, it did not work out for him this time once again. Now when we get back to Green Flag Racing, Justin Day, Rob Hamp will be our front row, and then behind him will be Austin Edstrom and Dylan Carrier, with Jim Foskett and Reese Schaefer back behind him. We're going to come around with the green flag in hand to take 9 laps to go. Will this be the last caution, though? I don't know if I'd put my money on there being green flag racing from here on out, but we'll have to wait and see. And which driver will survive for the race win, we will find that out right now. Drivers making their way through turns 3 and 4. Pace truck going to take the hard left turn off the track. And Justin Day is going to lead us to the green flag. A great restart by Justin Day. Not so much by Rob Hamp. He's going to have a great start into turns 1 and 2 over the field. 8 laps to go at the line. Justin Day, current race leader. Will he have enough to hold on? Directly behind him with the hard charging 19, and Jim Foskin now is going to go around. Will he be able to save it? I think he was able to save it. No caution for the time being. .25 of Jacob Zala now trying to get around that 99 machine, and I think he may have put him in the wall just a little bit, and that's the aggression. Oh, around goes the 17 truck and the 25 of Jacob Zala, and we're going to have another wreck here, this time on this straightaway. I think that's a 2 truck of Lennon Burbage as well. A wild restart. Justin Day, however, is able to continue to hang on to this race lead with just under 6 laps to go. We're going to have a very short finish when we get the green flag back underway. For the time being, though, let's see exactly what happened with Jacob Zala. Oh, that was I'm not sure what happened with Reese Schaefer. Did they make contact? Oh, it looks like a lot of these drivers looked to have made contact with this turn 4 wall. We see it with some trucks up ahead in this shot, that being Reese Schaefer. And if we play it from here in slow-mo, that 17, 19, and maybe even the later leader of Justin Day hit that wall. Jacob Zala, with a lot of momentum, not hitting the wall, just barely clipped that 17 truck, which then collected both these drivers. So a little bit of a misjudgment there from maybe Jacob Zala. Sent a 17 truck around, and then back up towards here, the 2 truck involved. The 25 with another hard hit, and I think that's the 48 machine as well of Jordan Hand, and it looks like it is. So more trucks getting heavy damage here towards the end of this race. Really nothing some of these drivers can actually do. Now, we have 1 fast repair. I think I mentioned this earlier, drivers do get 1 fast repair. And it's kind of really up to when drivers decide to take that. So if you're a driver who has been involved in numerous incidents tonight, you may not have 1 remaining, and you may have to sit there on pit road, or it may just be DNF'd from this race. Really depends on what your cards are heading into that caution and what you have to work with. And a lot of this field, again, already being in numerous wrecks. We've seen some of these drivers be repeat incident drivers, so really kind of brings up the question as to who has a fast repair left, who is going to be able to get across the line the cleanest out of the group. And what will this restart bring? A very wide track. We've already seen 4 wide, a lot of 3 wide action already. And with just under 5 laps to go, coming to 4 laps to go, and we'll take the green flag with 3 laps to go. So really, it's gonna be a very quick finish to decide this race. And if I'm Justin Day sitting with the race lead right now, the last thing you want to do is have an issue off of turn number 4 and have to check up. We've seen it a lot of times already tonight. That turn 4 has been the trickiest part for these drivers so far. And if you're the 87, you want to be able to get around this 24 and get that clean air. You don't really want to have to be stuck behind them. And if you're able to keep side-by-side going into turns 1 and 2, you probably have a really good chance at taking the race lead down the backstretch heading to turns 3 and 4. And a lot of this is going to come down to this restart. Which drivers are going to get a good restart? Which drivers are going to struggle? Field in the hands of Justin Day. Austin Edstrom gonna lead with him on that front row. We're gonna get back green flag racing with 3 laps to go from Auto Club Speedway, and a great jump by Justin Day in that outside lane. Austin Edstrom gonna have to fall in line, and they're 3 wide for that 3rd position. That's Joseph Kazi, Aaron Kay, and now Reese Hamilton. Oh, we got a caution in the back. Numerous trucks involved again. This is the 11 truck of Patrick Hernandez with a blown engine here late in this race. Will he be able to get back to pit road? I think he will be. All right, what happened to Patrick Hernandez here? Let's look at this. Oh, looks like not just really. No, I wouldn't really blame anybody here. Just try to go for positions, try to get around Jordan Berry up ahead in that 10 truck, got to his outside, and they just made contact, and around goes Patrick Hernandez with that 17 truck of Reese Schaefer also getting involved in it. He's going to go around with them. That 15 truck with a late hit as well. So another late race incident for some of these drivers. However, Justin Day up front is sitting pretty. A great restart that last time when we took the green flag. Will he be able to repeat it, or will these drivers be able to maybe time it a little bit better? With these late race cautions, we have acquired a few DNFs from this race. Those being Jason Miz, Jacob Zala, Dylan Carrier in that 19 truck, who we saw up there racing for the race lead just a few cautions ago. Unfortunately, not able to continue on, so he'll have to come back next week and try and go for another race win. Brock Piper is our other DNF. And then a few drivers a lap down being Keith Shoemaker, Colby Jackson, and Patrick Hernandez. Those drivers. And as I was just saying that, Patrick Hernandez unfortunately just took it to the garage. So Patrick Hernandez, now another driver, not able to finish this race. And that's a pretty decent amount of drivers who will not be able to finish this race. A lot of points that, unfortunately, those drivers will lose out on from getting involved in incidents. But if you're still in this race, you have a shot at this race, I'd say. I mean, we haven't really seen anybody dominate this race so far. And if they have, then they currently are not actually continuing on. If you're Justin Day and crew, what are you going to do on this restart? You had a great restart. You went early in the box. But will people be expecting that? Or do you maybe try and wait a little bit longer and try and get people to misjudge this restart? What is your crew chief wanting you to do? What is your spotter telling you? Now, I think really, if you're the 87, you just gotta be absolutely perfect on this restart to have a chance. Don't have another restart like we saw last time where that 24 truck was able to get a truck length around you going into turns 1 and 2. But you'll find out in just a moment as the field gets set to go green flag racing once again. Just a handful of laps to go. We'll take 2 laps to go at the line. Green flag back in the air. Justin Day off and away. This time, he's going to get another decent restart. Able to pull out in front of that 87 machine as they fan out behind him. Three wide behind him. Everyone going for positions. Nothing to lose at this point in time. We're going to get the white flag when we come back around to the start-finish line. Will Justin Day be able to hold off the field behind him? Or will we see a late charge from Reese Hamilton, who is now up to second place, with Austin Edstrom trying to hold off to third place? White flag in the air for Justin Day. Reese Hamilton is here. Do not count him out. He's to the outside of Justin Day. We're going to have a drag race side by side off of turns number 1 and 2. Reese Hamilton with the advantage. Justin Day is going to have to side draft if he wants to hang on to this race lead. Who's it going to be coming off of turn number 4? Justin Day sends it in deep. Little bit of a wiggle there from that rear end. They're going to be wrecking in the back. Joseph Kazi side by side end. Justin Day, Reese Hamilton at the line. It's going to be Reese Hamilton with the race lead and the race win. Chaos breaks out behind him, but it's not going to matter for Reese Hamilton, who's going to be able to defend Justin Day from this race win. let's go ahead and get a moment to. Let's go ahead and take a moment to speak with our race winner here in just a second. See if maybe we can get a better angle on this truck. Not sure if I really have any better angles. There we go. We'll go with this angle. Let's go ahead and see if our race winner is in the voice channel yet. We'll give him just a minute to get in here before we get to speak with him. All right, getting a minute for Reese Hamilton to get in here. We'll give him a few more seconds to get into the Discord. All right, while we take a minute to get him in here, let's get Justin Day. Justin Day, oh so close, almost had it there, coming to the start-finish line. Just a few inches not being enough for you. What did you need to really go your way there on that restart?
I mean, I'm surprised I lasted as long as I did because I last pitted at lap 68 and everyone else is like lap 90. So I'm just surprised I even made it that close.
Yeah, you talk about pit strategy, and that definitely was a decent factor to play into. Now, this is a really good finish. I don't want to take away from it, although it wasn't the win. A really solid day, and going into next week, I believe it's lost if I'm correct. What really could you do anything differently that would maybe better your chance the race win for next week, or is it just something where you just keep this momentum going and eventually into vain?
I think it's more just keep the momentum going because I wouldn't say it was a fluke that I was up there, but there was a lot of cautions at the end. But I just took advantage of it. I had the track position. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to Vegas. It's one of my favorite tracks. Not that I'm like fast there, but hopefully I can keep the good luck on my side.
And hopefully you can. I was rooting for you deep down inside. I would have loved to have seen a Justin Day win, but the fact that you were able to challenge for that race win, know that you have the talent to get back and battle for another race win. I'm excited to see what you can do this season, especially heading to Las Vegas next week. Before we go, is there anything that you'd like to add?
Well, not too much. Just thanks for doing your broadcast. Hopefully we'll clean it up for next week for you guys, and then yep, see you next week.
Alrighty, thank you, Justin Day, for taking a minute to speak with us. That was Justin Day, second place finisher. Heartbreak, also close. But right now we have our race winner. Let's get him up into the booth. Reese Hamilton, do you got a coffee? All right, he's here. I think I'm not sure if we actually changed this push to talk button. If you can hear me, I'm pretty sure there's a push to talk button in this channel. I don't think I can. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I can't change it. Let's see. I see your mic is unmuted. I'll give you a second to get stuff figured out. All right, we'll continue to give Reese a moment here to get his microphone working.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, man, my bad. I'm not too familiar with Discord yet. I only been on it about a month.
No, you're good. No worries. Do not worry about it. I mean, I guess it also doesn't matter too much when you're the race winner. Congrats on the race win. What a close finish. Really tell me about, did you think you would be able to get that run off of 4 and be able to carry it to the start finish line over Justin Day?
Yeah, I definitely felt like I had the preferred groove right there, but I wasn't sure of anything down the stretch.
And we saw you pretty much up front majority of the night. A little bit chaotic there towards the end of the race. What really did you need to put yourself into position there in those last few restarts to be able to get away from those wrecks and that carnage that kind of happened around you? How'd you be able to put yourself into a clean position to be able to take home the race win?
I'm not sure, man. I early in the race, first pit stop, I accidentally took tires, made a mistake, and got me off strategy. And I guess all of the cautions that occurred throughout the race kind of played in my factor, and I just tried my best to strategize and get back on in a good position, with tire wise and whatnot. But I don't know, man. It kind of fell in my lap there at the end. I felt like it was a good racetrack for me. But I just started iRacing in like March, so I ain't got that much experience. But I just go with the flow, really.
Not that much experience yet, able to pull off the race win when it mattered. Also able to lock yourself into the playoffs pretty early on as it's race 2 in this. Actually, don't know how many races we have into this regular season. What really does that do for you for the next handful of races? Do you be more aggressive, or do you just kind of take your time and maybe chew off another win here and there? Or are we going to see, like I said, a little bit more risk out of you?
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is my first league that I've ever been a part of, so Bryce had to give me a learning curve on how things were and whatnot. But I'm enjoying it so far, and my main goal was not to wreck anybody, and I accidentally got into, I think, the 47 or something, not sure, going into one, so I want to apologize for that. But yeah, that's my main goal this season, is just race fair and be clean and be competitive. So I guess we're off to a good start with the be a competitive part.
I love to hear that, and hopefully we can see you in victory lane a few more times this season. Heading next week to Las Vegas, what does that look like for you?
I've never ran this truck at Las Vegas, so I guess I'll find out tomorrow.
Well, you know what? If it means that you could potentially have a little upper advantage from just not really knowing the track yet and getting another win, I'd love to see that. However, congrats on the win. Is there anything else that you'd like to add? Any sponsors you'd like to thank before I let you go?
Nope, ma'am, no sponsors, but if anybody's watching, I'll sure take some.
I love to hear it. Reese, congrats again on the win, and thank you for taking a minute to speak with us. Go celebrate.
Appreciate it, man. Y'all have a good night.
That was our race winner. Very new to this, it sounds like. Didn't stop him from being able to pull himself into victory lane tonight. Now let's go ahead and stand by with our third place finisher. Austin, do you got us?
Yeah, buddy. How's it going?
All right, I just want to make sure I'm saying your last name right. It's Edstrom, correct?
Yeah, you got it.
All right, nice. Third place for you tonight. You witnessed a great finish in front, and I know you would probably wish you were there to make it a 3-wide battle to the start-finish line, but able to survive a lot of carnage tonight. Really, what was your strategy with all these cautions, and what maybe did you need there at the end to maybe make it a 3-horse race?
Well, I had the slightest bit of damage on my left rear that made me unbelievably loose for the last 15 laps of this thing. I got it coming off at turn 2 whenever they all started crashing behind me. Got a little nudge in the left rear. And I just couldn't get done coming out of the corners after that. Before that, though, cautions, my whole game game plan tonight was run the bottom possible, save tires, and then move up top. And well, we never got a long run to put that to the test. So I kind of went scrambling to the drawing board on the strategy midway through, and I just made sure I didn't use a single set of tires in the first stage until 5 laps to go in it or whatever. And I just wanted as many tire sets as possible for the end because I just knew it was going to be short run little stints like that at that point. And it just happened to work out for me to get another top 3. So I'll take it. I think the only one in the league to get 2 top 3s to start the year. So I guess that's something to hang on.
Yeah, and I guess Daytona and tonight both did have some wild finishes from the wreck perspective department, at least. But like you said, carrying momentum, 2 top 3s so far this season. And going to Las Vegas, it's a little similar to the 2 tracks that we've been racing. Mostly going to be pack racing. Really, what is that like for you? And do you really have any sort of game plan, or is it going to be something where you might have to change it on the fly again, depending on what and how that race goes next week?
Yeah, it really just depends on how many yellows you get through the beginning stage. I kind of judge my strategy for the last stage off of how many yellows we're getting at the first one. So it's really something I just have to come up with on the fly. Obviously, I'll kind of go in there hoping for long runs because that's my bread and butter. But if we get these little short runs, you just got to think on the fly. But like you said, with the pack racing, I love it at Talladega, Daytona, and Atlanta. It's fantastic. But, these neutered down engines that we run nowadays are they just keep everybody bunched up. And so people try to throw big time moves. And, I was guilty of one tonight. I never got a 3-wide call by my spotter. And there were 2 guys above me. And I only left room for 1. And there was a wreck off of that. So, it's good. It's good fun on the brother. We're not wrecking. But behind the wheel, man, I would love 200 more horsepower, but I'm not the one that decides things in that. So I'll just keep my fingers crossed and pray.
And that I would love to see. I think every car at least have a little bit more horsepower, but we can only dream, unfortunately. Before I let you go, is there anyone, like any sponsors that you'd like to thank, or any shout outs that you'd like to give?
Yeah, the Mac Tool guys, they kind of pay our way in the O series that we got going over at Keegan Sabilo Esports. They help us out a whole lot through the season running open setups. So big thanks to Mac Tools, DeWalt, Stanley, all those sister companies kind of tied into Mac Tools. And thanks to Justin Levine for getting me on the team with all them, and Keegan Sabilo for running the whole organization. So big thanks to those guys.
Alrighty, Austin, thank you for taking a minute to speak with us. I'm going to let you go ahead and continue on with your night, and hopefully we can continue this top 3 streak and keep it going.
Yes, sir, I hope so. Have a great night, man.
Alrighty, thank you. You too. Alrighty, that was our 3rd place finisher, Austin Edstrom. Crazy finish at the end. We're going to go ahead, take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back to take a look at that finish and see exactly what happened, and then we'll take a deeper dive look into these results, but we'll be back in just a moment.
Our time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down. The after-checks are lit. Don't count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, let's go ahead and break down the move for the race win right here, right now. Justin Day, 2 truck length advantage over Reese Hamilton coming to the white flag. And this draft really just allows Reese Hamilton to pull up and get a huge run going down this back straightaway. And that's kind of what built up this high side run, able to get to the outside of Justin Day. And then going down the backstretch, it was essentially just a drag race between these two drivers. And with carnage behind him, there was another drag race down this front straightaway. And at the line, Reese Hamilton over Justin Day by about half a truck length. And he was able to walk it home with the race win. Unfortunate heartbreak for Justin Day, who we thought would have been able to hang on to it. Unfortunately did not. Now, if we go back a little bit and let's go ahead and take a look at Joseph Kazi, who went for a wild ride here. I'm not quite exactly sure who or what started this. I mean, we were 3 wide here. Looks like just trying to squeeze each other for this position, and the 2 truck into the 37, the 37 into 3, and Joseph Kazi on his side, sliding up against the wall. Other trucks behind him involved in this. That's the 1 of Derek Garrison, the 37 of Aaron Kay sliding backwards. Joseph Kazi, unfortunately, with the worst deal of the group, I think. I think he was able to, he was able to land back and get it going in reverse across the finish line, but not a great finish for him. Unfortunately, lost a decent amount of spots there on that final turn. Now going back live, I mean, really an overall interesting race to have happen. A lot of cautions. We heard from a lot of drivers that kind of really threw them off. Again, if you're just joining us, welcome back to Auto Club Speedway, live from Fontana, California, USA, for this Sunday night Showdown Truck Series. We got to talk to our top 3 drivers. Now, a very wild race, like I was just saying. A lot of cautions. Drivers not expecting there to be really short runs, expecting longer runs, kind of preparing for longer runs in general. Unfortunately, they didn't get that. But at the end of the day, again, Reese Hamilton able to take home the victory over Justin Day there at the very end. Let's go ahead and take a look at our race results. Reese Hamilton able to take home the win, leading the way at the start-finish line, followed by Justin Day. And then we have Austin Edstrom, Landon Burbage, John Barry, Eric Garrison, Jordan Hand, Bryce Shoemaker, Jordan Barry, and Stoney Benfield. Those are your top 10 drivers. Going on to our next page, we have Reese Schaefer, last season's champion, finishing outside the top 10. Landon Matherson, Derek Garrison, they're involved in that late turn 4 incident as well. Rob Hamp, Jim Foskett, Joseph Kazi, Aaron Kay, Keith Shoemaker, Patrick Hernandez, and Brock Piper. Those are your top 20 drivers. Rounding out the field, Dylan Carrier. Unfortunate night for him. Was running up front a lot tonight and got involved in an incident there towards the end and not able to continue and finish the race. Same can be said for Jacob Zala and Colby Jackson. Those two drivers not quite able to complete the race, finishing 10th and 14 laps down behind the race leader. And rounding out the field, Jason Miz, 16 laps down. Unfortunate night for all those 4 drivers on this final page. All 4 of those drivers, I think, were running in the top 10 and had decent position at one time or another. And then our final thing for the night would be our Hard Charger Award. And I believe this is... Oh boy, I don't think it's popping up right now. I must have binded it wrong. But our Hard Charger Award is going to go to John Barry. Should be John Barry. We'll get some verification on that. John Barry went from 22nd to finish 5th. Congrats to John Barry. That is sponsored by Wraps by JB. Wraps by JB does anything from iRacing related wraps to custom helmet hats in real life. Helmet hats, I'm not sure if I said hats, but at least helmet hats. Helmet designs, excuse me, that's what I meant. Helmet designs in real life. Mostly focused on goalie masks, but if you want to wrap by JB Jordan Barry, go ahead and reach out to us on iRacing or find him on Facebook. He had a numerous amount of trucks here in the field that he designed tonight. So a great showing by his drivers. Now, I don't really think there's really much else to say. Next week, we head to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We'll take a look at that here real quick. I'm not sure if I actually have that. That might be... There we go. Las Vegas Motor Speedway next Sunday, November 16th. I will unfortunately not be here, but I am working to try and get someone to at least try and cover that race. If not, we will for sure be back on November 23rd, live from Bristol Motor Speedway. This has been TSM. Thank you for joining us. And if you're tuning in live or at a later date, hopefully you have a good rest of your evening, day, night, morning, wherever it may be. And we'll see you live from Bristol Motor Speedway in 2 weeks' time. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you.